Hi everyone, it's Dr. Ramani. Welcome back to this YouTube channel that attempts to teach you about everything you need to know about narcissism, narcissistic people, narcissistic abuse, and just toxic stuff in general. Today we're going to take on a question that many people have asked me through email and comments is, do narcissistic people actually have friends? I think some of you are friends of narcissists, so I guess the answer to that is kind of yes, but we'll debunk that one and take it apart. But thank you as always for tuning in. Please join this community. I often tell people, forget my videos, the comment section is where the action's at on these videos. And speaking of which, please subscribe. But before we get to the video, you know what I'd love to hear? How many of you do have narcissistic friends, and how many do you have? Let us know, because I'd be curious to see how many of you watching this still have narcissistic friends, and maybe by the end of the video, you might think about moving some of them out. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about this idea. Do narcissistic people have friends? Well, I guess it depends on what you mean by a friend, okay? Now, as a rule, grandiose narcissists are extroverted by nature. So they surround themselves with people. In fact, it's really quite hard for them to function without an audience or without lots of people around them. They do not do solitude and can get quite irritable if they have to spend time alone. Narcissists with money will keep lots of people on the payroll, and their homes can be a steady circus of housekeepers and hairdressers and massage therapists and personal trainers and coaches and teachers and tutors and chefs. Well, that's not most of us, and narcissists without money will rarely miss things like happy hour, or they'll throw backyard barbecues or anything they can do to keep people around. Because obviously, if validation and admiration and narcissistic supply are the air that you breathe, you will need people around you to provide that air supply, to provide that validation. Now, interestingly, not all narcissists are naturally extroverted. Covert or vulnerable narcissists can actually be more on the reserved side, maybe even somewhat introverted, often because they are quite socially anxious and are often not the one you see at the center of the party. Instead, they may maintain a sort of petulant sullenness about other people and be quite contemptuous of other people in their lives. But those covert narcissists have to figure out other ways to get narcissistic supply. Covert narcissists will often get their narcissistic supply by presenting themselves in a victimized manner and expecting people to reassure them and uplift them. They feel entitled to that. So let's go back to this idea of friends. In a healthy paradigm, a friendship is a relationship characterized by kindness, warmth, compassion, respect, connection, shared interests, and trust. None of those are strong suits for narcissists. It can be deceiving because narcissists can often seem like they are surrounded by people. But when you scratch the surface, you may find out that people spend time with them because they throw great parties, or because they pick up the check, or the so-called friend is on the payroll. Are those what you'd call friends? Personally, I wouldn't want a friendship like that, but maybe it works for the people in it. For narcissists, life is just lifelong high school mean girls or mean guys. Lots of gossip, lots of triangulation and undermining. It can all feel very tenuous when you're friends with a narcissist. But because a friend is often a lower stakes relationship than maybe a parent or a sibling or a partner, many people find it easier to rationalize or justify their friend's behavior. There's a very emotionally stunted quality to narcissistic friendships. They may feel similar to high school or junior high school friendships. They can be quite superficial, devoid of any deep conversation. Some people who are friends with a narcissist may feel like a babysitter at times and may start to feel exhausted by the need to always compliment them or do things according to the narcissist's plan. Narcissistic individuals will often control friendships to play out as they want them to their convenience, which is why you may not hear from a narcissist for weeks or even months or even years at a time, and then all of a sudden may hear from them when they need something or they need someone to go somewhere with them. Now, over time, most narcissists burn bridges. You can only be a fair weather friend for so long before people get wise to it. People may burn out on it being a friendship that's really only focused on the narcissist. Other more important stuff in your life may take over. And always remember, you will only be a friend in the narcissist's life for as long as it works for them. When something better comes along, they will discard you, just as in any narcissistic relationship. Better may mean a friend with higher status, more money, more power, more connections, better toys. When I say better, I don't mean a person who is better from an emotional or human perspective, but it still hurts to be discarded. However, friendship discard is a signature move of the narcissist. And as time goes on and you aren't hip enough or thin enough or cool enough, then you are also very likely to be thrown into the friendship dustbin. They stop getting in touch. They stop responding. Hard as it may be, you need to breathe a sigh of relief and just let them go. And interestingly, because narcissists are so hypersensitive and almost paranoid, they always think people are slighting them or letting them down or out to get them. And their hypocrisy can mean they feel they have permission to treat a friend badly, and that their friend should then just understand and forgive them when they behave badly, and they would rarely offer such human generosity to a friend. As a result, their friendships often end because friends just get exhausted at the drama, at the narcissist's sensitivity, and the hypocritical double standard. Narcissistic friendships are one-way streets. They will come to you 100 times with their tales of woe. But the first time you turn to them for a sympathetic or empathetic ear, they become bored, disinterested, distracted, or just too busy to talk. The hypocrisy can be heartbreaking. The narcissistic grandiosity can also mean that they perceive relationships inaccurately. In other words, perhaps they meet someone, I don't know, famous or a celebrity of some kind, and they meet them just one time, or they meet them through another friend or something like that. They will talk about that famous person as though they are friends. In fact, whenever a narcissist meets a higher status person, an interesting cycle starts, whereby the narcissist almost becomes one of those, like those sticky parasitic fishes that attach to sharks and whales and just sort of eat their leftovers. In fact, narcissists will often try to buy their way or otherwise get access to famous people and attempt to construct pseudo-friendships with those famous people so they can get grandiosity by proxy. And before you know it, you are being replaced by their sort of fantasy friendship with a local celebrity or a person of renown. It's actually kind of sad to witness. They will talk of fancy folks they had met years back with a familiarity that would lead you to believe they were best buddies with actors, athletes, royalties, politicians, and other famous flotsam and jetsam. So my short answer is that despite them always referring to everyone as being their buddy, or we go way back, or yeah, we're homies, they don't have real friendships. Narcissists don't have the people who aren't on the payroll. They don't have the people who bring them chicken soup when they're sick voluntarily. They don't have the people who listen to that breakup story for the 100th time, nor would they be willing to forego a fancy night with fancy people for their birthday dinner. And that sucks for them. But another thing you also need to keep in mind is that if you ever run afoul, you say the wrong thing, a narcissist feels like you stuck it to them or didn't do the right thing or were disloyal in some way, they will not only discard you, they will defame you, they will smear campaign you. Ending a friendship with a narcissist is no easy business. They hold grudges forever. So really, heaven help you if you do the wrong thing by a narcissist, because you will hear about it forever. And in that case, it's a friendship. These are relationships that are often a lot easier to walk away from. And what I hope for you is that you fill your life with those friends who bring you the chicken soup, listen to that breakup story, and forego the big night out just to have a birthday cake with you. That is what a healthy friendship looks like. So again, would love to hear from you. Those of you with narcissistic friends, how'd that all go down? Do you have a narcissistic friend? And honestly, I want to know, why do you keep them around? I get it. I've had more than a few. I know why I kept them around. I want to hear from you. So thanks again for tuning in. Please subscribe, join this community, hit that bell if you want to be notified every time we put out a new video. And if you like this and learned something, give us that thumbs up. Thanks again.